So, potent cannabis increases risk of serious mental illness, says study. I'll go into a little story for you. Many years ago, when I was a naughty boy, and I'm not no more. I'm an upstanding citizen, can't you see? I was arrested a few times, but I was raided by the police one time, and there was at one time when cannabis was a Class B, and they lowered it to a Class C, but then they raised it to a Class B again. But literally, a couple of weeks before it went down to Class C, me and a hell of a lot of other people got raided by the police for whatever reason they wanted to raid me. You can only speculate what they thought I was doing or what I was doing, but never mind. Point is, it's like it was all very calculated. It's like, well, we can get him on this charge. You can get him on a Class B charge instead of a Class C charge. I just thought I'd say that story just because that's just how it works. That's establishment for you. It's all the establishment. Ooh, but the police, all the pricks. Yeah, I'm talking about you. But there's a little cannabis story for you that's interesting. It was so calculated. So calculated, the bastards. But right, potent cannabis increases risk of serious mental illness. Now, look, full disclosure, there's many benefits as we know about weed. More and more benefits are coming. Obviously, it's getting legalized on the NHS imminently. I think it's tomorrow, was it? And studies. There's been a lot of research into it, and obviously what's going on in America and other countries. Blah blah blah. But weed's not for everybody, and it's not like. A lot of people who champion it are saying, it never does nothing wrong to nobody. It's like, no. I know plenty of people have gone fucking I know people have been sectioned for smoking weed. Straight up. And I know a lot of people say, weed's getting too strong. And there's a lot of people I know who literally would just do Class A drugs, but never touch weed because they can't handle it. Which seems bizarre, but it's true. Weed is getting stronger and stronger, mainly because of the influence of all this mental weed that they keep making, especially in America, where they're just totally fucking with nature, completely fucking with nature, and just creating these monstrosities. Whether it's I can't remember what half the shit's called now. It's like is it one of the moon rocks? Is that the one that's sends you into fucking outer space? I remember having Girl Scout cookies. I was like, why are you calling it something like that? It's fucking space weed, gas. Oh, that fucking gas. The weed being sold for ridiculous amounts of money. That's comes over from all these nutty places, all these hybrid monsters. If you keep fucking with nature like that, have you not watched Jurassic Park and see what happened? Well, that's what's going to happen to your fucking brain. It's a fact. Look, some people just want to smoke some mellow weed and just chill out, or help their ailments. They don't want to be sent into fucking outer space via the bottom of, via under their bed. If people just fucking smoke a zoo and just suddenly be like, jeez, my brain's just melted into my head. Oh my god, why am I an asshole? God, why haven't I done something with my life? I'm going to hide under the bed. There's someone outside. Literally, just an implosion of your brain. And they keep making it fucking stronger and stronger. And you got to say, yo, do you want to chill out on this a bit? And it doesn't do it any favors if you want it to be eventually decriminalized, even decriminalized, but legalized, because the fact is, way too much resources is wasted on policing cannabis, and they've had experiments in the UK that have worked. Brixton is a great example for when they decriminalized weed in Brixton. I don't know if it still is. It's been a long time. I don't know. It's been a long time. It's been a couple of years since I've been to Brixton. It's been a couple of years since I bought weed. So fuck knows. I don't keep up to date on everything, but they did. It was a while back, and the idea was used to have Brixton Frontline was where everyone was selling crack, which is near the cinema and KFC. And back in the day along there, you used to get offered everything. But what the police did, they decriminalized weed, so they could focus on crack cocaine, because crack cocaine was pushing gun. Crack and extreme violence goes hand in hand, and robbery. It does. And it worked, and they cleaned up. They got rid of the front line, and like they actually cleaned up that part of Brixton. Like they got rid of like one of the biggest. It was like a drug stoppage shop. You know, you could get anything any time of day, because they focused on that. You know, when they eliminated one crime, you can deal with some other crimes. Now, obviously, you know, the legalization of all drugs is probably the ideal way to go, to be honest, because it's just an endless war that doesn't stop. And like cocaine and weed, I don't know which one was more likely to give you psychosis at this juncture. I don't know. But I tell you, out of people I know more people to go crazy from smoking weed. But that's all about you. It's not necessarily about that's all about you. But alcohol is more destructive. Obviously, you know, 80% of crime in this country is committed due to alcohol. And what's that hit? Yeah, and that's mainly because of drunken fighting. That's what it mainly is, people being too drunk because of the culture we have of like fighting in kebab houses, fighting in fucking crappy nightclubs. You know, it's our drinking culture. It's mainly violence. You know, 80%. You know, most of the people admitted to A&E is because of alcohol. It's to say one of the things that bugs me is to say, oh, it's to blame alcohol. You know, alcohol's far worse than weed and blah 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 blah. So I mean, like, there's nothing wrong with this. Yeah, in moderation. Same as weed, it should be done in moderation as well. Like, you don't want to be blazed all the fucking time because it might actually spin you a bit doolally. It happens. But the thing is, it's our culture more than anything with the alcohol thing. It's our culture because you don't get that in other countries. Now, other countries don't have that kind of problem with alcohol that we do. It's part of it's a cultural thing. Yes, different cultures have different problems. Who would have thought it? That's why you wouldn't want mass migration of British people into, you know, a country that doesn't drink much, like like Norway, because they can't afford to, for starters, because it's so fucking expensive. So yeah, if we all gatecrash Norway, just hang around drunk as fuck on probably moonshine that we've made out of Bovril or something, you know, they want us all to fucking go back home, that's for sure. And they probably have a good point. I mean, look at Benidorm. I mean, it must be terrible for the locals. Like, God, are they ever going to leave? No. It's true. It's true. Don't ever go at people in their own countries for like not liking certain idiots coming over. Look at the people of Benidorm. They got to deal with us. Pain in the ass. Like, come on. You know what I mean? Yeah, thought about that. You think about that? But no, but seriously, like I'd drink. You know, you can't say alcohol is all bad just because of using us as an example, like Britain as an example, because we're a very bad example. We have a very bad relationship with alcohol, whereas other countries have a great relationship with alcohol. So that kind of argument, when people start going about weed and alcohol and blah blah blah, yeah, you can die from alcohol poisoning, of course, and alcoholism is very addictive, blah 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 blah. Yes, but weed's fucking addictive too. Like, just what I'm saying is, I'm not trying to bash it, not at all. And I do like, look, smoking weed can like open your mind a bit more, and it's a good time to get high and just to go into yourself and think about things a bit more clearly. But you know, it has many benefits, but you know, there's a gift and the curse with lots of things, and I think more recently than not, like, everyone's sort of been like, oh, weed is the champion of everything, and there's nothing it ever did never to nobody. It's like, all right, let's calm down the happy clappy talk and get realistic, because you have to address the real shit. Otherwise, you're gonna let people like this win. If you know, otherwise it just becomes one side and one side. It's like, can we just all admit everything and work from there? Would that be okay? So they estimate around 1 in 10 new cases of psychosis may be associated with strong cannabis based on their study of European cities and towns. Smoking potent skunk-like cannabis. I like the term. Skunk. In London and Amsterdam, where most of the cannabis that is sold is very strong, the risk could be much more. Yeah, so like I said, it's all this spaceman weed that's coming in. Look at this, psychosis risk. High risk of recreational cannabis. Cannabis use in teens linked to depression. Why are so many countries now saying cannabis is okay? That's linked to something. I mean, it is interesting, isn't it? How suddenly the tides turn. I mean, a lot of it. I mean, Thailand, of all places, where you get banged up for a long time possession of it. It's now being made. It's now being made legal for medicinal purposes, same as happened in the UK. Like, there's a big shift coming. But I mean, look at this. This is the problem. Like, skunk like cannabis with a THC content of 14% now makes up 94% of the drugs sold on the streets of London, according to experts. But who are these experts and what are they tested? You know, it's like, it's all, especially when you see it in the newspapers, you're never like, when they go, oh, cocaine is now, remember they were going, oh, cocaine is now 90% pure. It's like, really? Where is it? Because everywhere I've gone, it's been pretty poo for the past few years. Like I do that. But, you know, it's the media aren't very good at this kind of thing. Jesus, that guy has got PTSD. Yeah, well, if you got PTSD, maybe don't smoke too much fucking gas. Look at him. That's a 1,000-yard stare if I ever saw one. Whoa, bro, you need to chill out, man. Whoa. Ad Gridley, who currently takes 3 different antipsychotics, 3, has suffered with schizophrenia and has tried to take his own life. He believes that his psychosis is down to cannabis use. He no longer smokes. Man, I don't think smoking weed can give you that kind of, like, 1,000-yard stare. I mean, the medication, probably these it might be the antipsychotics he's on. I don't know. So what's this study? The researchers from King's College London looked at cannabis use by people in 11 EU towns and cities, including London, as well as one region of Brazil. They compared a sample of 901 people who had experienced psychosis with 1,000. I'm already giving up. They categorized the type of cannabis that used by the participants according to strength, although they did not do any lab tests to measure the strength directly. Low potency cannabis was an illicit product thought to contain less than 10% concentration of THC. High potency was anything containing more than 10%. So, self-reported daily cannabis use was more common among patients with first episode psychosis compared to controls. 29.5% of patients versus 6.8% of controls. High potency cannabis use was also more common among patients with first episode psychosis compared to controls, right? So across 11 sites, people who use cannabis on a daily basis were 3 times more likely to have a diagnosis of first episode psychosis compared with people who had never used cannabis. Right. I mean, I know people have had psychosis, like, not always drug related, so I don't know. It's interesting. But, you know, I mean, I would say that if you got fucking, you know, if you're getting fucking weed with like 94% THC, that's just too much, bro. I was like, oh, that's too much. It's like absinthe. Remember absinthe? It's like, no, you know, it's like, yeah, there's too much alcohol in that. Like, can you calm down? It is. And the thing is, like, you know, if you smoke fucking strong weed all the time, when I'm smoking strong weed all the time, you just build such a tolerance to it. And then you go away, and if you haven't smoked for a few days and you smoke again, you suddenly are totally intolerant. Suddenly you're like, absolutely fucking off your tits, like literally tripping balls. And then, you know, after about 2 hours, you smoke it again, and it's back on course to being you know, a complete addict again, whatever it is. And like, it's just strong weed, and the stronger it gets, the more crazy that's gonna be, you know. So I think people need to chill out with making weed so fucking strong. Like, why does it need to be so fucking strong? Do you not understand that, like, you could sell more weed if it's weaker? Duh. Because they're going to need more, idiot. and it's also bad for people's brains, man. It's like, come on. Can we just let's stick on the right course, and, you know, and you know, let's stop the prohibition on cannabis, because it's a step in the right direction in so many different ways. And yeah, it does make, you know, it can make some people mental. Well, you know, if you're mental, don't do what you can't, like, come on, personal responsibility time now, guys. Can we just, you know, we can't do everything we want to do. I know we're living in a times where it's constantly pushed upon you that apparently you can do anything, but you can't, alright? Okay? You can't just do anything, okay? So maybe, but I want to smoke weed all day, mama. I was like, well, maybe you can't. And just accept it and move on. Same as, you can't eat 4 donuts a day and stay trim. You're going to get fat, all right? You just can't do it. Just accept it and move on. We gotta calm down. Stop making the weed so fucking strong, you lunatic.